All right. Well, happy Tuesday, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy to have you here with us for our third Tech Tuesday. So we are going to give it a few minutes to let everybody get joined in. But while we're waiting, feel free to put a comment in the chat where you are joining us from. And you don't want to miss today's session. So
Mhm.
it's definitely geared towards navigating the current job market. So we definitely want to make sure that we're able to drop gems and help you as you start, you know, looking, for employment, whether you're navigating that market or just looking for a career change.
Bruce, how is
Right.
your Tuesday going so far?
Oh, my Tuesday has been really busy. I probably just got home probably 30 minutes before we jumped on the call. So
Yeah, for me, I cannot believe we're in June. Like, how did we get by this quickly? Like, how are we already at the middle of the year?
yeah,
So,
it's like summer just started. I feel like it's going to end just as quick as it got started.
yes, absolutely. Time is flying for sure. It's going by really fast.
I
Ooh.
guess while we're waiting for everybody to get joined in, we're going to give it a couple minutes. Any
Mhm.
exciting plans for the summer?
Actually, so many plans. I mean, the children, I mean, it's always exciting when there's children involved, right? it could be
Agreed.
exciting good or it could be exciting bad, but we do have plans. We plan to travel a little in the month of June as well as in July, so that should be fun. But really just happy to have the children around. It's fun times, just watching them grow and play and not worry about school and all of those things. So yeah,
No, that definitely sounds fun. I don't have children, but it is my godson, so we get to spend a lot of time with him. So I
yeah,
agree with watching the children grow. Um, no summer plans. I think I'm going to take a cruise, which that's kind of fun fact. I take probably one or two cruises a year.
that's
So
nice.
everybody at work is always like, "Yeah, I bet you're going on a cruise." I'm like, "I
You
am." So
and usually those are for how long?
I'm now up to going to 8 days.
Ooh, that's a long.
So yeah, I get progressively longer as we continue. Every cruise it gets
That is
progressively.
long for sure.
All right, and we are just gonna give it about another minute or so to let everybody get joined in. Um, we have Vivian Otabor here with us today. She is a community partner with Lincoln Power. And she's joining us today to be our feature speaker for Tech Tuesday. She's going to be dropping some gems here, really just to help you navigate the current job market. So you don't want to miss out on that. So we'll give it about another minute. But while you're waiting, feel free to, in the chat, feel free to drop your location where you're joining us from. Looks like we have ATL in Texas. So good spots. I'm in Texas. So that's always good too.
ATL.
So, okay, ATL. All right. Well, it's 5 minutes after, and we definitely as we are agilist, we definitely like to make sure we're time boxing things. So
Mhm.
we are going to go ahead and get started with our conversation. So Vivian, really excited to have you here with us. I know we reached out. We were looking for a partner for our Tech Tuesday, and you took the opportunity to join us and say, "Hey, I want to do that and help us give back to the community." So,
Yeah,
um, just in looking at things, looking kind of, at your background. Vivian does a lot of things. She has a lot of different titles, but um, I definitely let the audience know a little bit about you and kind of, your background and what you do.
Yeah, so I like that you said that because that's something that I still struggle with till date is how do I introduce myself to what audience, right? I don't want to overwhelm people. I don't want to give people too much information if they don't need to know a certain part of me. So I'm still working on that. But it's Tech Tuesday, and the conversation is around the new hiring playbook, the job market. So I'm going to introduce myself from the career consulting aspect. So my name is Vivian, everyone, Agile Career Consulting CEO. And Agile Career Consulting is a lean and agile initiative firm. And what we do is we help people transition into the IT industry. So we help conduct um, trainings, um, provide information, guidance, interview prep. We help out with resumes. We're also very big on career development. So think even people who are fresh out of college and who are trying to navigate, hey, what's going on here? What is LinkedIn? How do I position myself to get a job? We're helping people in that aspect as well. And then we also help small businesses, so individuals who are looking to level up, have better positioning, have better branding, whether it's to build out a website or have a social media strategy. Because right now, again, going back to the topic of discussion today, the job market is crazy and it's really forcing people to go into entrepreneurship, to look inward, to understand their skill sets and how they can monetize it. So, I don't want to ramble too much, but yes, that is who I am, and that is what Agile Career Consulting does. That if you guys want to know a little more about me, definitely connect on social media. That way, you'd see the different pieces of Vivian.
Awesome. A lot of great stuff there. So, as we get close to the end of the presentation, we will definitely give everybody opportunity to figure out how to connect with Vivian. But I really want to take a moment here and talk through the current job market because we've seen a lot of changes over the last year. Um, so I want to start off with us, pretty much a question of how have you noticed kind of the job market shifts, not only in the agile space, but overall?
So I think everyone can agree that the economy right now is horrible, right? We are in a time of serious economic headwinds, and organizations are feeling it, and it's a ripple effect to the employees. And so there's been loads of layoffs, right? People have been laid off since last year, and it's the numbers are increasing, right? It's not slowing down anytime soon. So the job market has changed significantly, right? Before it was so easy to, you know, fix up your resume, you find a job online, you apply, you get a call, you get an interview. Right now, the size of the job market has threefold, right, in size. The competition is steep. You're not only competing with people in the US, you're also competing with people outside the US, right? You're competing with foreign talents because, again, the organizations are trying to save money. So they're trying to look for, cheaper alternatives. And so it's really difficult right now. The job market has changed significantly.
I definitely agree. I currently work in the project management space, and we're seeing it as well. We're seeing kind of the shift, and then people wanting to save money. So we're
Mhm.
seeing a little different things. They're kind of mixing roles, combining, consolidating.
Yep.
Try to get more bang for your buck. And then you
Mhm.
have this introduction of AI. So
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and AI doesn't make it any easier, right? People, yes, AI is here to help our lives, but sometimes there's also the disadvantage of it as well because a lot of people are losing their jobs because of AI, right? Organizations are finding better ways to optimize, finding ways to save money, finding ways to utilize AI for more efficiency, and so there are some roles that are going to definitely fade away, and it's now is the time for people to really think about their strategy, like, okay, do I need to switch careers? Do I need to transition into something else? Because not all jobs are going to go away, right? There's some jobs that would never go away, and there are some where AI becomes your buddy. It's no longer I'm trying to compete with AI, but it's how can I use AI to make my job more efficient, more productive, save time, things like that. But in the sense of the job market, it doesn't make it easy because there's so many AI agents out there. People are using different AI agents to apply for jobs. They're using AI agents to generate resumes. So it's crazy, right? So I mean, we can go on and on and on how AI has also um, just contributed to having a huge impact on how the job market has changed. So there's so many ways, and we can talk a little bit about it as we go.
Absolutely. I think we are. I think that's going to be a good segue here in just a moment because um, people have to be prepared for that shift and they have to be able to adapt to using AI and leveraging that.
Mhm,
Before we get into that conversation, though, we've talked about the current market conditions, but we also kind of talked a little bit about AI and how
mhm.
it's also being a disruptor. So, looking at it, right now, what industries or roles can you see growing, you know, despite the challenges we're seeing right now?
So, the very first one that comes to mind would be cybersecurity. So the GRC cybersecurity space, and when you think about it, right, compliance, security. Now, I question things, right? I see a picture, I see a post, and I'm like, okay, is that a real person or is that AI? Because it's so hard to tell. Um, the products of AI these days are absolutely realistic that you don't know. And so what that means is organizations are going to have to tighten up their security, right? Because people are replicating code with AI, people are generating text to speech that sounds like an individual. Like you literally record someone, put in an AI agent, and it would replicate that person's voice. Um, the list goes on and on. Compliance, documentations, hacking of people's computers, getting into just areas that are prohibited, secure information. AI is breaking the rules. And so the folks who are in cybersecurity, who are in GRC, who are in change management, because change is coming, right? The way AI um, has invaded our lives and the way we work, we have to start adapting to those changes. Organizations have to put things in place to ensure that there's more security, right? And so folks who are also in the change management space would absolutely not be affected by AI taking their jobs, right? And I know change management is not very popular. So some people might be like, what is change management? But change management is really how the organization and the employees handle change, right? How they adapt, how they get communicated, or how they communicate the change, I should say, the trainings, all of that good stuff, right? How you pretty much ensure that people go through that change the best way possible with the most or minimal resistance possible, right? So those are some of the roles I would say off the top of my bat, and of course the engineering roles as well, right? The app developers, you need someone to maintain all those applications. So yes, there are a few roles that AI cannot take over.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the change management companies are always evolving and they always
Yeah.
have to change. So change management, when you
Mhm.
said that, is we can't get around it.
Yeah.
So we have to change. We have to adapt.
Mhm.
For the future. Something that comes to mind as well is I know as a project manager, we hear about it all the time because we're starting to leverage it a little bit more in what I do, and you hear people saying, "Hey." it's going to take away the project manager roles. I don't necessarily see that because you technically need that project manager to
Mm-hmm.
manage kind of the stakeholders and the clients. They're beneficial to that. I see
Yeah.
AI helping us be better at what we do, helping us, take those meaningless tasks out so we can really focus on the stakeholder engagement, the client contact, and really driving that home and helping provide that value.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
As we talk about, we talked about cybersecurity and we talked about, the engineering and just the different aspects of that. Um, what type of skills or certifications do you see, like, are you starting to see now with, even newer recs that are coming out that companies are looking for with this change?
So you said the type of certifications or courses. I
Correct.
mean, we can go on and on. It's out there, right? The information is out there. There's so many certifications. There's so many courses that if people just do a simple Google search, they would find the information. Or even when you check a job description, right? It would list, hey, you should have this particular certification. So those things are there, right? But right now, those things are not so important anymore because everybody has a certification, everybody has the degree, everybody has the skill set, and if they don't have it, it's easy for them to get it because it's no longer a secret, right? You can actually go on Udemy and take a course, pay $50, $100, and you're equipped as well as someone who's been doing that role for like a year, right? People have mentors, so the certification, the courses, all of that good stuff, it's not so difficult to acquire. It's not hard to find the information. But the thing is, with all of the certifications and the courses that you take on your own, how well is that helping you find a job? Not so much, right? Because again, the job market has changed. So it's not necessarily about your certifications. It's not about how many courses you've taken, because all of those things, yes, it makes your resume look good, it makes your LinkedIn profile look good. But at the end of the day, all of those things are pretty much garnishing, right? It's like the sprinkles, the icing on the cake, right? How do you show or tell the hiring manager I'm the right fit for this job? Because 100 of us have all of these certifications, we have all of these degrees. So how do I stand out? How do I ensure that I'm going to land this job in this competitive job market? I think that's what people need to worry about now, right?
I agree with that. You talked about it. It's what I got from that is the certifications they're nice to have, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not the end all be all. And with the
Correct.
current market, they're not necessarily going to get you through the door like they used to. The certifications used to be
Exactly.
a golden ticket in, and that's not the case anymore
Mhm.
with the current environment.
Exactly.
Um, I think this takes us to a good segue. And we talked about those certifications, and then we talked about really, it sounds like, how are you providing value? What is
Hmm.
your value add as you're going into here? Because you're interviewing, we all have the same credentials.
Yes.
How would you say one can differentiate themselves in an interview and navigating that market when all things are the same?
Right. So I think we've gone like 10 steps forward. Let's really back a little, right?
Oh,
So
absolutely.
so before we get to the interview, like how are they getting to the interview? Like, let's be real. People are applying for 100 jobs in a day, 500 in a week, a month, and no callbacks. It's all crickets, right? So if some people are getting interviews on a steady, kudos to them. They're definitely doing something right, because right now you go on LinkedIn, you see that a job was posted, um let's say 2 hours ago, right? And then you see that there's 500 applications, and you're like, okay, it's barely 2 hours and there are 500 applications. At that point, do you even have a fighting chance of getting a call back or getting an interview? Because first of all, let's be real, the recruiters who are going to go through the 500 applications are actually not going to do that because they're humans as well, right? They either leverage AI to go through the application. So, um, what are the chances that whatever prompt has been put in the AI is going to pick your resume? We don't know. It's very limited, right? And so
Correct.
the thing is, we need to understand how to position ourselves first to be seen, right? Because if that doesn't happen, depending on the old methods of applying for jobs where you just find a job, you apply and you pray, it's called the spray and pray. You pray that you get a call back, you get an interview. Those days are gone, right? Nobody has time for that. You literally have to take matters into your own hands. You cannot sit by and apply for jobs where you can see clearly that in 2 hours 500 people have applied for that job. So now you're 501, right? What are the chances that your resume is even going to get seen by a human, right? So we need to first of all think about how we position ourselves in the job market so that we can get found, we can get seen. And something that I talk about a lot is people use LinkedIn as a resume, like a digital resume. LinkedIn is more than a digital resume. LinkedIn is That's your funnel. Use LinkedIn as your funnel, right? And you're selling yourself, you're selling your skills, you're selling your expertise, the things that you post, how you're visible, the people you connect with, the comments you make. Those things are extremely crucial. People take it for granted, and these are the things that matter, right? We are in a phase where it's not necessarily about who you know, but who knows you, right? It's
Right.
about who knows you. And how are they going to know you if you're not visible on social media? And when I say social media, I mean the professional social media, LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is social media, right?
Right.
So you have to be visible, you have to be active, you have to post about your area of expertise, because I bet you that recruiter, if he or she doesn't have the AI agent, there's no way in hell they're going to go through 500 applications. They're going to go through the first 10, right? And they're going to see fantastic resumes, because guess what? Everyone everyone has used AI to make their resumes perfect. Everyone has said, "Hey, ChatGPT, align my resume to this job description." Everybody has done it. So the first 10 resumes are going to be great, right? Including the people who have the skills, including the people who do not have the skills, right? Because ChatGPT does it. So I love ChatGPT, right? It does it. There's no discrimination. It's not going to tell you why you lying. You don't have those skills. It's not going to do that. It's going to give you what you asked for. Okay, it's going to give you exactly what you asked for. So if you say, ChatGPT, give me a resume of someone who has 10 years experience, even if I have zero, ChatGPT is going to give you that. Okay, now, with your 0 years of experience, you're the first person to apply for a job. Your resume looks good. Guess what? The recruiter says, "Oh, I have 10 very viable candidates who could potentially land the job because their resumes look good. Let's connect them, or with the hiring manager. Let's do schedule for an interview." And this is the fun part. They have the interview, maybe just the first round, right?
Right.
And these people just don't have any substance, right? They don't know the work, they don't have the experience, they don't have the skills. Everything on their resume was just padding based on ChatGPT, right? And so, do you think that recruiter is going to continue going through the applications?
Oh no, they're stopping. They're frustrated at that point.
Thank you. They are
They are
frustrated.
frustrated.
They are absolutely exhausted. They're like, you know what, I can't do this anymore, right? And then where do they turn to? Because they still have a job. They have to find talent for that role, or for the hiring manager. So what do you think their next step is going to be?
I can tell you they're probably going internal. They're going to find an internal candidate.
Okay. So
That's one option.
that's one option. So they either go internal and try to recruit from within. The second option, if recruiting from within is, not optional, is they go on LinkedIn and they search for people, right? So let's say they're trying to find, I'm just going to use change manager. They're trying to find a change manager. They're going to go on LinkedIn and they're going to type change manager. And yes, LinkedIn is a social media tool, the same way you go on Instagram and you type hashtag whatever, or you go on TikTok and you search things and you get a feed of stuff. That's the same way LinkedIn works. And they go on LinkedIn and they type for that role. They're going to see a bunch of people who, number one, have change manager in their title, in their profile, all of that good stuff, right? It's going to come up millions of people. They can filter like location or whatever the case may be. But guess what? Because LinkedIn is a social media platform and LinkedIn is in the business of making money. So LinkedIn is not there to just provide jobs. LinkedIn is there to make money. It's a business, right? And they
Correct.
want they want the platform to keep thriving. LinkedIn is now rewarding the individuals who are consistent, right? So the folks who would show up at the top of um, the search for a change manager are individuals who are consistent with their posts, who are consistent with the use of LinkedIn, who engage, who talk about change management or what it means to be a change manager, all of that good stuff. Those are the folks that are going to pop up, right? And then that way it's easy for the hiring manager to look through those people's profiles and say, you know what, this person has credibility. They talk about change management. It looks like they know what they're saying, they know what they're doing. It's not just a nice, flashy resume that we cannot necessarily prove anything, right? So, this is one way people need to understand that visibility is the new career currency.
I like that. Visibility is the new career currency.
Yes.
Um, I think, I want to unpack a couple things and, just take a couple takeaways from that because you called out several things in our discussion there.
Mm-hmm.
One, um, is really leveraging LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
and really using LinkedIn. It's more so, somebody from our audience said it should be used for building your personal brand.
Mm-hmm.
And that ties into the intentionality you talked about as well.
Yeah.
Being intentional in how you use it, your
Mm-hmm.
posting, um, which is going to help you make sure that are you securing the roles? Are you putting yourself out there to show I'm capable of doing this despite, everything that's out there. My resume matches here from a brand perspective because I'm talking the talk and walking the walk. So
Yeah.
definitely like that. And then you segued into again, um, visibility is the new career currency. Making yourself visible is going to help you secure that next role.
Yes, yes, right. And I want to add something, right? Because a lot of people are so caught up, especially people who are new to um, social media, even LinkedIn, people who are older. For the Gen Zs and the younger generation, it's like second nature to them, right? No problem. But think about the folks who have been in workforce for 20 years, 25 years, right? Telling them they have to hold a phone in front of them and record and post, it's all strange, right? So I feel very empathetic towards them. But at the end of the day, right, what I say is just put it out there. You don't have to care about the likes. You don't have to care about if it's perfect. You're building credibility at the right time when the right opportunity comes and they type your role and you pop up those things that you've been posting consistently. If you've been posting the right things, that's what's going to land you that job, not the amount of likes. Recruiters are not going to look at, oh, how many people liked it or how many people commented. No, they're looking to say this person actually does know their stuff. This person has the skills. This person has the knowledge, the experience. This person is able to speak. This person has good communication skills, right? So those are the things that matter, not the likes, not the impressions. Those are great, but they don't really turn out to be anything in the long run.
Great insights there. Um, I guess we'll probably before we want to segue into a little bit, take a moment and talk through. I know we briefly touched on the AI piece.
Hmm.
Um, what are some things that you could probably I know we talked about people really embracing AI, leveraging it a little bit and what they're doing. So can we talk a little bit about how you've probably seen that currently and what you're doing, in all the endeavors that you're focused on, how that's helping you, in your endeavors?
So, just so I understand your question, so how is AI helping people land jobs, or how is AI?
Correct. That's
Okay,
correct.
yeah. So, and I break this down very literally fifth grader level in this ebook on the screen. Really helping people understand how to position themselves, how to package themselves, how to promote themselves, and how to pursue those roles, right? So, the framework in this book is the 4 Ps, which I just mentioned. I just mentioned right now, and so you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be a pro in branding or be a marketing expert, because at the end of the day we're all marketing ourselves, right? That's what we're doing. And so the I actually took the 4 Ps from the 4 Ps of marketing. Like, everybody knows about the 4 Ps of marketing. It's very popular. And when you think about a product, it's worked for years. It goes through the 4 Ps, right? What is the product? What is the price? Where is the product being sold? Which is the place? And how is that product being promoted, right? And when you think about that strategy and why it works, it all boils down to positioning, how you're positioning yourself, right? And we need to think about ourselves as products, right? Whether we're selling our skills or our expertise, we are products and we want people to buy, right? That's the exchange of money. So whether it's a 9 to 5, you're exchanging your expertise and your skills to that organization, and in return, they're paying you. And if you're an entrepreneur, you're exchanging your skills to someone who needs your services, whether it's coaching services or whatever the case may be, and in return, you're getting paid. So we all need to understand that we are products, and you cannot just put a product on a shelf and fold your arms and expect that people are just going to come grab it. Even Coca-Cola still advertises, right? They've been in existence for over 200 years, or God knows how many years, and they're still advertising. Not to talk of you that nobody knows you, right? So let's be realistic here about the things that we need to do. It's not about your your degrees or your certifications or how many LinkedIn courses you've taken. It's about how you position yourself, and this is how AI is going to help you, right? You can use AI strategically to just package yourself properly, position yourself well, identify what are the keywords I should be using on my profile, how should my profile be set up, what should my about me say, right? It's extremely important for us to use AI the right way, efficiently, right? What prompts are we using? Because it's garbage in, garbage out. If you don't put in the right prompts, you're not going to get a right or a good outcome. So all of those things are extremely important. And again, shameless plug, all of these things are in the ebook, right? Another aspect that I always talk about is no man is an island, right? You might do all of these things where your profile is amazing because you've leveraged AI to make it great. You have a good bio, you have a good summary, you're engaging. But how about the human capital? Who is in your network? How are you connecting with people in the industry? People hire who they know, right? I read a LinkedIn post not too long ago. Someone said referral is no longer works, right? And I had to comment. Usually, I don't like to, when I see things that I don't agree with. I like to play safe and I just keep going, right? I don't like
Right.
engaging. But you see, when you're building your personal brand, you have to stand for something, right? You have to let people know that this is where you stand. So if you see something that you don't agree with, you say it, right? You don't necessarily need to try to convince the person, but you're telling the person, hey, I have a different opinion. And so I was like, you know what? I have to practice what I preach as well. So I'm gonna comment on this post and say I disagree, and I'm going to give my facts and the reasons why I disagree with that statement, right? If you like it, you don't like it, that's up to you. But I've made my stance clear. And so I responded to the post saying, no. When you think about the recruiters and their mentality, and we've walked through literally the workflow of them posting a job, getting 500 applicants in 2 hours, going through the first, it's all perfect, scheduling an interview or, screening call, and it's really a hot mess. They're going to lean on their network to refer people. Like, okay, I know Bruce. I know Bruce is a great project manager at his work. I'm going to ask Bruce, hey, Bruce, do you know any other project managers that I could hire? Because they're probably going to, be as good as Bruce. Bruce is not going to refer me to a mediocre person, right? So
Right.
referral is still king, right? Who you know still carries a lot of weight. Yes, I said it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you, but it goes hand in hand, right? If Bruce says, hey, here's Vivian's profile, I think she's a good fit. If that recruiter goes on my profile and Bruce has, gone to brag about me to say I'm a great project manager, but when that recruiter comes to my profile, they're seeing things about politics, things about soccer, and the latest concepts. What do you think is going to happen?
Oh, they're going to be questioning. Well, they're going to be not only questioning your referral, is why you told me this person was a good project manager. So
Exactly. So this is why it all goes hand in hand, right? You cannot pick and choose. You cannot say, "Oh, I'm only going to leverage my network and my, the people who have the connections." You have to also do the work in positioning yourself well, so that in the event that referral comes through and they go look you up, there's an alignment. Okay, so but again, like I said, all of these things are in the playbook. Also, how you reach out to recruiters, right? Because you can't just sit on your hands and wait for people to refer you all the time. You have to be proactive. LinkedIn does such a great job where I don't know if this is regular LinkedIn or this is premium, because I have premium. But when you apply for a job, or when you see a job, it tells you who the poster of the job is, so you can actually send them a message. And a lot of people have said, "Oh, yes, we've tried that. We've sent messages, and it's crickets. They don't respond." They're not going to respond because nobody owes you anything, right? You it,
correct.
it's based on the strategy in how you send the message, right? And I just tried this out yesterday. I wish I could share my screen. I really want to show you guys. I tested it out. I found a job that I liked, and I checked the amount of people, because LinkedIn said it was literally 1 hour they had posted this role, and LinkedIn said 100 people clicked on the application. I'm like, whew, 100. I'm not going to be 101, right? I can't do that. But this role definitely is a good fit for me. I love it. I'm going to reach out to the recruiter. And I reached out to her, and in 2 hours she responded. I was just blushing ear to ear, like, you know. I thought they said recruiters don't respond or hiring managers don't respond. They respond. It's just based on your strategy, right? What are you
Right.
typing in that message, right? Are you being very, very needy and acting like anybody owes you stuff? Nobody owes you anything, you know? So there's an art to how you craft your messages. And again, all of these things, I have scripts, templates for how to contact recruiters, how to contact people who are in the organization, who you want to ask them to refer you, or basically just for you to have a conversation with them so you can learn more about the organization or their role, because at the end of the day you cannot just let people feel like you're trying to use them. Nobody likes that, right?
Right.
Because they really don't owe you anything.
So it sounds like there's a lot of gems in your ebook. And I have a question because this sounds like a lot of information that, if I knew it worked for me, I probably wouldn't, there are people that are just, they're going to gatekeep that information.
Mm-hmm.
What was the inspiration behind you actually saying, hey, I'm not going to gatekeep this. I'm going to share this information with everybody else. So what was your inspiration behind this?
Well, because I'm a good person. How about that?
Absolutely. I would agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree.
Um, yeah, but so at Agile Career Consulting, we have one-on-one coaching sessions, right? So people actually pay. It's $150 per hour to have a consultation call, and then afterwards it's $250 for a coaching call. But then we deduct the $150 because you already paid for that during the consultation, right? So I'm trying to paint a picture that it costs $250 to actually talk to me or anybody on my team for an hour to get all of these gems, and for us to help you. But um, when I did the ebook and I priced it so low, it's because people are really in need at this time, right? The economy is really bad. People have not had jobs for months, and it's questionable how they are surviving, how they're living, how they're going by. And so this is my way of giving back, right? Because I know not everybody can. It's easier to have a one-on-one coaching session because I can tell you do this, do that. I can review your LinkedIn profile. I can look at your resume. I can, have a conversation with you, tell you how to adjust your tone when you're having conversations, whether it's an informational interview or it's an actual interview, right? I can help you in those ways. But how many people have $250 right now in this economy, in this job market, to hire a career coach? The answer is not a lot of people, right? And so, because we are in the business of helping people, the core of what we do is we want to see people thrive. We want to see people succeed, right? Let's put the money aside. The money is just an incentive. The goal, the joy comes from when people are winning, right? When you see that people are able to actually you know, feed their family, provide for their family, for themselves, their health is good, all of those things. So that's really why I did this. That's why I decided to put all of this knowledge I have, the expertise, everything in the ebook, and price it so low. And even for you guys, I'm giving um, more discounts, like an additional 45% discount, because I mean, it's the Lincoln Park community. I love you all. So leverage that for sure.
Yes, and Vivian, we definitely appreciate that and then sharing that with the community. So, Vivian just told you it's an additional 45% discount. So this is the time we see we've gotten the link to the ebook. It's been dropped in the chat, but you know, I'm gonna say run, don't walk. Because that and Vivian, just to make sure, I want to how long is this, a limited time offer, or how long is this good for?
Yeah, so it's only going to be for this month. So on the
Okay.
last day of June, the code is going to expire. So the original price of the ebook is $49.99. So just short of $50, and I'm giving you guys 45% off. So from now until the end of June, you guys can literally grab the ebook for only 27 bucks, right?
Tw-
Um, so yeah.
$27. That's a steal. I know for me, that's probably three of my Starbucks coffees.
Yep,
And
there you go.
that's a Starbucks reload for me.
Yeah.
And that was just today. But again, just putting that in perspective. So, Link to the ebook is in the chat for anyone that's on the live and for the community, and the discount code is also in the chat. Link 45
Yeah.
to get your 45% off. And we definitely want to give Vivian her flowers for taking the time to you know put all this information here to make it easy for you all to really land your next job. We
Mhm.
know that economy's hard, everybody's affected at some capacity, but we definitely want to make sure that um part of what we do at Lincoln Power is we empower individuals, and
Yeah.
it's about community, and Vivian's a community partner because she believes in that mission as well. So we definitely want to make sure that we're doing that and helping any way we can.
Yeah.
um well, Vivian, I know I've, probably asked you a lot of questions to talk to your ears off over the last 45 minutes, but it was definitely great, good conversation there. How can, our audience stay in contact, follow you? Do you have a community they're able to follow? How can they reach out to you?
Yes. So professional platform, LinkedIn is going to be Vivian Otabor. So you guys definitely reach out, connect, you know, follow. Don't just follow or connect, engage. So if I do a post, like, comment on it, because it goes both ways, right? Um, People see you, people find you from comments as well. So definitely engage. And then on Instagram, it's going to be Agile Career Consulting. Agile Career Consulting is actually also on LinkedIn, but we post more videos, more educational videos and content on Instagram. So it's Agile Career Consulting on Instagram and LinkedIn. And for individuals who, because I know we talked a lot about just the job market and how AI is taking over some jobs, and I know that there are people who would love to transition because maybe their roles no longer serve them or whatever the case may be, right? We offer trainings. We offer right now. We are in the process of doing a GRC training. We're going to put out the announcement pretty soon, and so um, we're letting individuals know, like, if they're interested, this is the time to sign up, join the wait list, because there's only going to be a number of people. We can't take on everybody, right? Because we want it to be a small class where we can actually help the people in there who are trying to transition and show that they are well grounded and well set up to land the jobs. So yes, if you're interested in transitioning, definitely reach out. Go on the website. It's Agile Career Consulting. Click on the programs tab. You're going to see um, the waitlist for GRC. So go ahead and fill that out so that when we have all of the information about the training, you'll be the first to know and you can register.
Good stuff. And Vivian called out something. This is time to put it into practice. So I'm going to bring it back to the intentionality, because when she reached out and said connect and follow, this is a good time to send a message, and say, hey, this is where I met you at.
Mhm.
I've done that. I know. I think I met Vivian at our first Agilent brunch, the first
Yes,
Agilent brunch event, and then we inadvertently realized that I was starting at the company she had previously worked for. So it's a small world.
yes,
Um, but it all goes back to the intentionality piece and really helping build your brand. So it's going to allow you to go back to some of the things we discussed today.
yes, absolutely.
Well, Vivian, we thank you so much for your time and just pouring back into the community. I know we will be in contact, and we'll see you at any future events.
Yeah, absolutely. This was a great conversation. I loved it. It was very conversational. Thank you, Bruce. I hope people who are listening or who are going to watch the live or the pre-recording learn a thing or two, because that's always the goal. Even if we just impact one person, that's okay for me. And so I appreciate you guys for having me on here today.
Absolutely. And before we go, from before we end today's Tech Tuesday, wanted to call out a couple of events that we have coming up. So. if you're in the Atlanta area, the Small Business Link Up is going on. It is the second Wednesday of the month. So this is a good time to get your tickets. Spots are limited, so take advantage of it. Um, I know they had the first one last month, and I heard great things about it. So if you're in Atlanta, this is the event to be at. And you can also go to our website. It is out there for the rest of the year. So you can, if you can't make this month, you can join any of the other months that are out there as well from now through the end of 2025. So take advantage of that opportunity. Also, here at Lincoln Power, our founder will be speaking at the online Scrum Master Summit. So this is an online event that will be happening the week of not February, week of June 17th. So Mimi will be speaking there. She has been putting out, just a little bit of teaser videos. So if you're following us on socials, this is a good chance to check out those teaser videos because she's giving a little insights into what she will be talking about at the online Scrum Master Summit. But this is also an opportunity to take care of an event. I know registration is free to sign up for. So another good opportunity. You can hear from some awesome keynotes as well, but definitely want to check Mimi out at the online Scrum Master Summit. And you can sign up by going to scanning the QR code. It will take you to our events page. And from there, you can register to attend that event. And finally, we are opening applications for our One Path Accelerator cohort that will be starting in September 2025, so fall 2025. We just wrapped up, an amazing cohort here. So really looking forward to starting the next cohort. We will have 2 info sessions that you can sign up for. So scanning the QR code will allow you to do 2 things. It will take you to our wait list where you can input your information and register for one of 2 info sessions, and you will receive a link to the info session. So this is a good opportunity to learn more about what the One Path Accelerator program is, how it can benefit you, as well as hearing from a couple of our past accelerators to see, really what value they got from the program and how it's helped them. So really looking forward to starting this next cohort. So we hope to see you all at one of the 2 info sessions. And if any questions come up and you have any further questions, just let us know. You can hit us up on all of our socials, or you can send a direct inquiry on our website and the help button. But it has been a pleasure to be with you all on this Tech Tuesday. Looking forward to next month's Tech Tuesday. Stay connected. We'll have that on our website here within a couple of weeks. And hope everyone has a good day. Thanks, everyone.